Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? We are on to another week of UFC after that terrible week last week where I had to sit through and watch all of my favorite fighters die in the fire. We now have UFC Fight Night, Jared Cannonier versus Caio Borralho. It's actually not a bad card. It's only got, 12 fights on it. We had a couple last-minute fights just pull in today. It is the 22nd of October on the Thursday. I'm going to put this in real quick. Hopefully you guys enjoy. If you guys do, drop a sub, drop a like. It helps me out. Let's just get right into this right away. We have Kong Wang versus Victoria Leonardo starting off the prelims very early on. We're going to go with Kong Wang. She's just insane to watch. She's an incredible prospect. I mean, you say prospect. I mean, usually you're not saying prospect about a woman at 32 years of age. She's absolutely unreal. Her Contender Series or Road to UFC Spotlight was unreal. She completely dominated, what's her name? Paula Luna. She's not very good, but it was an incredible performance. I think she's going to come in here against Victoria Leonardo and just completely starch her. Victoria Leonardo does have experience in the UFC. She did beat Mandy Baum, which is impressive, but Kong just looks like she's going to be a world beater, man. She looks like she's coming into the 125-pound division, and she looks like she's going to start just wrecking shit up. I think she's probably going to get to the top 15 spot very, very, very quick. She is sitting with a 2.5-inch reach advantage. She is nasty on the feet as well. Watching tape, she is ridiculous. She has incredible power, and I think she's just going to completely overwhelm Victoria Leonardo. And I think she might be able to stop her within the distance. Just seeing as Victoria's been knocked out a couple times, she just is a little bit chinny at this point. She doesn't take shots very well anymore. And Kong, dude, she just looks insane. So I'm going to be taking the side of Kong Wang. I'm going to be looking at under 2.5 rounds. I'm not too sure what it is for the betting side. I don't think I'm going to be betting too much this week, but under 2.5 is a nice little pickup if you just are trying to bet a single. Next on the prelims, we have, oh my god, dude, this is one of the short notice fights. I can't even say this guy. I'm going to attempt it. Nathan Fletcher. That's easy, okay? This guy fought in Cage Warriors. He's actually not bad. Ziging Mantis Ramska. I'm just going to call him Ramska. Ramska versus Nathan Fletcher. I think Nathan Fletcher has fought the better competition inside Cage Warriors. I think Ramska has fought people from, like, Blade or something. What's it called? Blade fights. Dude, he's fought Samuel Blasco, who's 10-10. His last 3 opponents include a guy who's 0-3. He has 3 professional fights. What is going on? Gustavo Arik, also beating up nobodies. I just don't know enough about this guy. Ramska, or like Nathan Fletcher, again, fighting guys in Cage Warriors. Dan Duelis is actually not bad. Like, he's really good. Alessandro Giordano, also not bad. So I'm going to take the side of Nathan Fletcher. I think he's going to be able to submit Ramska. I haven't seen much tape on this guy. Ramaska? Maybe it's Ramaska, not Ramska. I'm butchering this dude's name. Honestly, I'm really sorry, dude. But at the end of the day, I can't fix it, and I'm not going to try any better because I'm already inside of this shit. All right, Nathan Fletcher by submission. I think you're looking at under 2.5 rounds for either of these guys. Ramaska, he's actually not bad in the stand-up. Again, he is fighting people who have fought complete bums. But again, they are MMA fighters. They are experienced. They would kill almost all of us watching these fights. So, I'm going to have to at least look at the side of him in terms of he still has power. He still is fast on the feet. I just think Nathan Fletcher's going to be able to overwhelm him in the grappling, be able to stuff him against the cage, and just get him to the ground and be able to submit him. Rear naked choke round 2 is my official prediction. Both these guys are pretty young. Nathan Fletcher is coming up in weight, which is a little interesting, but I think I still favor the side of him regardless. Next on the prelims, we have Josiane Nunes versus Jacqueline Cavalcanti. I'm going Nunes, and the reason for that is she has complete overwhelming pressure. Being the short fighter, she has always had to overextend. She's always had to get inside the pocket, and she has always had to push the pressure in order to keep people on the back foot on the bike and gas out. Jacqueline is probably going to be very prone to this. Nunes is just better in the stand-up, even standing at 5'2". It's going to look like the exact same fight against Zara Farron. Jacqueline is better on the feet than Josiane Nunes, but I say better on the feet. She's only better on the feet because she has the reach advantage. She's able to pop that jab way better than Nunes is. She's, hitting downwards, which with gravity, you're popping her right in the nose. I mean, you're probably doing a lot more damage than she's able to do to you, reaching way up into the sky in order to touch you up. I just think that Josie's going to be able to push the pressure on Cavalcanti and gas her up by the second round. And Cavalcanti ain't going to be shooting. So this is going to be a complete stand-up war. And Josiane Nunes probably is going to come out with the victory. Standing at a plus 160, it is a nice parlay piece if you're trying to scoop up like a 2 or 3 piece. Or you can bet her on the side. But I wouldn't touch the KO prop. I think this is probably going to decision. Nunes does have some power in her hands. I just don't think she's going to be able to get it done inside the distance. She is, again, if you're on the betting side, this is something to look at. She is 6 inches smaller than her. But I think Nunes is just better. I think she has the better stand-up. I don't think either girl's going to be shooting like I've rarely seen it from Cavalcanti. Nunes is not shooting at 5'2". She's not even going to be able to get her arms around the waist of Jacqueline. So I would just look at the over 2.5 round prop, and I would look at Josiane Nunes coming out on top as an underdog against the underqualified Jacqueline Cavalcanti. Next on the prelims, we have Vyacheslav Borshev Santa Claus versus Slava Claus, I guess, versus James Linetop. I'm going Borshev. Reason being, Linetop just looks like shit. Chris Padilla, dude, it's a fraud check. Like, this dude's not very good. Chris should have got starched by James, to be honest. If you're looking at all of James's last fights, you're like, holy shit, like, he's fighting, like, people who fought nobodies, but at least he's coming out on top with some nice victories. Dude, Borshev looks like shit, too, and I'm still picking him over James. James just has shown nothing, man. Probably gonna go under 2.5 rounds. I mean, every time you think it's going under 2.5 rounds with Borshev, it never does. I'm going to take the under 2.5 rounds prop because I think if Borshev is unable to knock out Linetop, which he will probably do in the first round. Jesus, like I'm stuttering like a motherfucker. He'll probably knock him out inside the first round, and if he doesn't, James is probably going to overwhelm him inside the second round, and probably not. It's not getting to a third, I don't think. So look at the under 2.5 round prop or not going the distance if you're on the betting side. If you like these fighters, I'm so sorry. These guys are terrible. Borshev's probably going to beat the shit out of James. But Borshev, again, has looked like shit his last 2 fights. I mean, the Sadikov win or decision was questionable. I guess it was a close fight, but whatever. Next on we're just going to move on because I can't with these guys. Borshev has made me so sad when I watch him, especially against Chase Hooper. And then you got James Linetop, who I cannot believe he got submitted by Chris Padilla. Anyway, Jose Medina versus Zach Reese. I'm going Zach Reese probably by submission. I mean, a lot of people are going with KO. He is nasty as fuck on the feet, bro, but I just don't think that Jose Medina is going to submit to his strikes. I think that he's fought guys who have really, really strong power in the hand. Don't get me wrong, Zach has incredible power in his hands, but I think Jose is going to be able to absorb some of that damage, take it to the ground where he gets hurt, like to a body shot or something, and Zach's going to submit him. A lot of people are picking the KO side. It's probably going to inflate that line. I would look at the side of submission. Zach Reese is just an incredible prospect. Getting KO'd while going for an armbar was really unfortunate. I'm pretty sure it was an armbar. He got slammed by Cody Brundage. Yo, look at me go. He got slammed cold. That was the second knockout in a row on the night with slams. But I like the side of Zach Reese. I just think Jose Medina, again, I think he is UFC caliber. The plus 300 line is a little insulting, I think. He took on the punishment of Magomed Gadziaslov. There we go. I said it. No more stuttering. Zachary Reese is probably just going to take him out, though. I mean, Jose Medina, again, he looks really good, but Zach Reese is just a different caliber of fighter, and I think Jose Medina should be fighting different people. And again, he's cutting 20 pounds. Like, he's entering a different level of fight. Anyway, we're going to go next on the prelims. Finally, we have Dennis Bazukja, whatever, versus Francis Marshall. I'm going Francis Marshall by KO. I think Dennis is kind of shit. I think Francis is kind of a bit better. He has fought in way better opposition. Willis Gomez took him to a split decision. Isaac Bulgarian, he took Rojo out. Connor Matthews, I mean, looking back, is kind of a bad win. I mean, Matthews is a half decent fighter, but he's just not like he's not going to be a top 15 fighter most likely. But Francis Marshall looked good in those fights. He looked good in his last fight against Isaac Delgarian. Again, it did end short, but like he looked good up until he got caught. Dennis just like Jesus Christ, Jamal Emmers, dude. Sean Woodson pieced him up. I mean, I can understand that. Sean Woodson is a nasty sniper, but the Connor Matthews KO, he looked half decent, dude, but I just think Francis Marshall's going to be able to overwhelm him inside the striking. I think he's just a bit better on the feet. I think he's a bit quicker. I think he's a bit slicker in the boxing. And I think probably not going to 2.5, or I would say 3 rounds, because it might be a late stoppage. But I like the side of Francis Marshall sitting at a -145. Dennis is also a good opposition, but I really feel like none of these guys are going to be shooting, dude. Like, there's just no way. I like Dennis might after he gets hurt, but I think Francis is going to be able to keep that wide base. He doesn't really get taken down too often. I think he's going to be able to get the victory over Dennis Bajukja. Jesus, I hate these names, man. Like, if I didn't have something wrong with my brain, I think I'd be able to say these names really, really easy. But something's just really wrong with me. Edmund Shabazian versus Gerald Meerschaert. I'm going Gerald Meerschaert by submission. Dude, like, he pulls out these really, really weird victories in moments like these. He's kind of like Brian Barberena, but Brian Barberena got, nuked and taken off the roster. But Gerald Meerschaert is very experienced. Edmund Shabazian is probably going to be looking for a knockout like that very instantly, going to run him down. And I think Gerald Meerschaert, if he was able to weather the storm like he wasn't able to do against Pfeiffer and against who's that other guy he got knocked out by? Hamzat. He kind of gets hunted a little bit really like easy, but I think Edmund's not the type of guy to hunt him down like Joe Pfeiffer or Hamzat Chimaev. I think he's going to take his time, and Gerald kind of implores on that. He's going to look for that. He's going to wait until he fucks up in the striking. He's going to look for a trip, probably take him down. Again, and if Edmund shoots on him, Gerald's going to let him. He's going to look for a scramble. He's going to get on the superior position. Look at the side of Gerald Meerschaert, plus 240, man. It's not too bad. Edmund Shabazian, really inflated numbers for a guy who has some shitty fucking losses on his resume. Jack Hermanson loss was that he got roughed up in that fight. Anthony Hernandez, good fighter. Nazardine Imamov, again, good fighter, but elbows from a crucifix? Getting yourself to that position is a fucking tough cookie. You have to like be really hurt, or you have to be terrible in the grappling. He kind of looked like shit in the grappling in his last 5 fights. He kind of looked like shit on the feet in the last 5 fights. I'm gonna take the side of Gerald Meerschaert, sitting at a big underdog. Next on the main card, we have Michael Morales versus Neil Magny. I want to pick Neil Magny really, really bad, especially after the win over Mike Malott. You have to go to the side of Michael Morales. He's probably going to beat the fuck out of Neil Magny. He is an incredible prospect. This dude looks insane. He's from Ecuador, fighting out of Mexico. He is the new welterweight. Like, he's going to be probably top 25 soon if he's not already. Oh, no, never mind. I'm looking right at it. He is 19. He's going to get a spot with this. Jesus, I can't believe I can't see that. The Haitian Sensation is a very, very good fighter. He's very, very experienced, incredible in all sorts of spots in the game. I don't think he has too many flaws in his game. Michael Morales just looks like he's the new, man. You have to remember these kids, man. They have access to YouTube. They have access to thousands of fights on Fight Pass. They have, or for free. They have thousands of logs of everything that have ever happened in MMA. These guys are watching everything that Neil Magny have done and are improving on it. Meanwhile, Neil Magny is 37 years of age, unable to recover the same way that a 25-year-old is. I think Michael Morales is going to beat the shit out of Neil Magny. And it's really unfortunate because I really like Neil Magny. And if he wins, I'm going to be really happy. But I just can't see him at this age, especially 37 years of age. He's not going for a title run anymore. If he does beat Michael Morales, he's on a title run, but I just don't see it happening. It probably going to get decisioned. I would take plus 3.5 on Neil Magny just because I like him. But if you're really picking, I would just side with Michael Morales. There's nothing could go wrong with picking the side of him. And if he loses, you're happy that Neil Magny won because I don't know how you could hate Neil Magny. Next on the main card, we have a short notice fight: Khan Ofli versus Marion Santos. I'm going Marion Santos. He's just fought better opposition in LFA. He's like Olifi, or Olfili, I don't know much about this dude. He's getting some submissions against dudes who have barely fought against anyone that has a fucking right mind. Santos is half decent, standing up. He's not bad on the ground, but I like his stand up a lot more than anything he fucking puts up on the ground. I think he's going to be able to outpoint Khan. I think if you're looking at this fight realistically, over 2.5 is probably your side. These guys do have a lot of finishes between each other, but again, it's not against good opposition, in my opinion anyway. I mean, again, what the fuck do I know? But I think they're not going to be finishing each other. I think Santos is going to be able to just outpoint him. I don't think these guys have too much power in their hands. I think they have, decent power enough to get takedowns and stuff, but I don't think they have enough to be able to mix up and get a knockout. I don't think they have enough. Like, Santos doesn't really have the slick boxing that you'd expect from, like, someone at 145. Like, featherweights tend to have really good movement, tend to box up, piece up, move, piece up, move. Like, like Tuporia and stuff like that. But, you're not really going to get that with these guys. I mean, Santos does look like I said, half decent on the feet. Khan, I don't know much about him, but the shit I've seen, he's just, the guys that he's fought just give up way too easily. So I'm going to go with the side of this 24-year-old Emmanuel Santos. And again, 67% of the time, the younger fighter wins anyway. Look at that stat, Next on the main card, we have Ryan Loder versus Robert Valentine, or Tin. I don't care. Robert's going to beat the fuck out of Ryan Loder probably. Knock him out probably early in the first round. It's really close odds, which is really surprising to me, seeing as he has nothing going on in terms of his last fights. Leon Shabazian is half decent in UFL, but Robert, dude, is just nasty as fuck on the feet. There was a guy this past week on Contender Series that beat the hell out of Patlick, whatever his name is. And he looked exactly like Robert Valentin, and I'm going to pick him for that reason. Robzilla is his nickname. This dude, when you watch his fights, he just runs at you. Like, he just has these hands of steel. And I think he's going to beat the shit out of Ryan Loder. The man of steel is going to get taken out by steel. Steel's sharp and steel, boys. All right. Look at under 1.5 rounds for that fight. I just don't think it's going too long. Ryan Loder, again, he's not terrible. It's just Robert Valentin. The hands, man. If you get clipped, you're done. You're out. Angela Hill versus Tabitha Ritchie is the co-main event of the evening. If you guys enjoyed, drop a like, drop a sub. It helps me out. I'm going to be trying to stream this on Saturday night. I'm not too sure if I'm going to 100% be able to do it. But if I do, 100%, I'll bet your ass I'll be there. Angela Hill. I really, really love her, dude. She's 39 years of age. I really, really think she's going to beat the shit out of Tabitha Ritchie, because Tabitha Ritchie looks terrible on the feet. Well, not terrible, but, way worse than other opposition. I didn't think the Pennington fight was rough, too, to watch. I thought she might have lost that fight, too. Angela Hill just way better on the feet than Tabitha Ritchie. Tabitha Ritchie probably going to have to look for a takedown if she wants any chance of winning over Angela Hill. And I think Angela Hill, being so fucking versed in the UFC, I think she's on a good run right now where she feels very confident. I think she's going to be able to stay on the feet and just beat fucked up Tabitha Ritchie that can't figure out the stand-up game to save her life. She is outreached. She is out-heighted. Tabitha Ritchie is the shortest girl I've ever seen fight in my life. And I think Angela Hill's going to be able to... Dude, she's nasty at boxing. Okay, Angela Hill is crazy with her kicks, too. She's probably just going to beat the hell out of her, dude. It's a tough pick, because you don't want to pick Angela Hill, who's 40 years of age, over a girl who's 29, upcoming. She's number 11 in the world. She's 10-2. She's looking like a beast in some of the areas of the game. I just don't think she's gonna be able to outpoint Angela Hill. Angela Hill's been doing this forever, dude. She's been doing it forever. She's been in the UFC longer than Richie's been doing MMA, probably. Fuck. It bothers me. It really, really bothers me. Okay, we're going Angela Hill. We're going to go over, I guess, 1.5 rounds. I guess I've been over 2.5 is really inflated. You go over 2.5, but Hill can still piece up, dude. Maybe she gets a knockout, imagine. I don't think she will, but I think Angela Hill's going to be able to outpoint Tabitha Ritchie. especially in a 3-round fight. Jesus, talk about no sweat for Angela Hill. We have the main event of the evening, which I'm a little bit worried about. Jared Cannonier versus Caio Borralho. I'm gonna pick Caio Borralho specifically because Nasruddin Imavov kind of fucked up Jared Cannonier in those later stages of the fight. Jared Cannonier looked like he had no answer for the strikes, looked like he was getting just pieced up on the feet. I think Caio Borralho is probably going to be able to take Jared Cannonier into a decision. Was a little bit of an early stoppage, in my opinion, against Nasruddin Imavov for Jared Cannonier, but I'm not really mad at it. He was getting beat up on the feet. He got dropped. I haven't seen him that beat up in a long time. He usually takes shots incredibly well, and Nasruddin kind of ended that for him. He is 40 years and a half of age. Dude, like, Caio Borralho is the future, man. He is the natural. He is really, really nasty in the stand-up, and he looked really good against Paul Craig. And I get Paul Craig's kind of bad now, but you can't take away his win against Booz. You can't take away his win against Olajaychuk. You can't take away his win against Petrosian. You can't take away those wins, dude. He looked really, really good. And coming on a, 7-fight win streak? Yep. 8-fight win streak. Having to beat 2 dudes in Contender Series in order to get that contract. You got to take the side of Caio Borralho, and probably the over 4.5 side, seeing as Jared Cannonier kind of got stopped a little bit early, and I think Caio Borralho is probably not taking Jared Cannonier to the ground where he would have a more advantageous position in order to finish him, because Jared Cannonier takes shots very well, and I'm really hoping he didn't get chinny from that fight with Nasruddin Imavov. That's all I got for you guys this week. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a parlay. Angela Hill, Robert Valentin. Under 2.5 rounds, Gerald Mearshart, Edmund Shabazian. That's probably a good enough parlay for you guys. If you want to do a 5-pick, I would do Kong Wang. Probably by submission, KO or submission. That's probably paying pretty good. Actually, you know what? Do that as a single. I'm going to go... Ooh, you know what? We're going to do a little bit of a risky parlay this week. Josiane Nunes, we're going to go Zachary Reese by a submission or KO. We're going to go Francis Marshall. We're going to go over 4.5 rounds in the main event, and we're going to go over 2.5 rounds, Michael Morales versus Neil Magny. That's all I got for you guys this week. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. See you guys at 7 p.m. Eastern time if I'm streaming. If I don't, enjoy the card, guys. It's actually really not that bad. And the next time I'll see you guys is for UFC Noche. I'll see you guys for the recap on Sunday. Peace.